Well, we welcome back Terry Bortz for a special update on the 2022 Super Bowl breakfast that is happening in Los Angeles. And so, Terry, I hate to say this, but we're now talking with you in your home in Cincinnati, Ohio. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me.
Terry, I am looking forward to the Super Bowl breakfast. Tell me the latest a little bit about that. How are things going?
Yeah, things are going great. We have, I think, 17 or 18 tables left. So we're
Yeah.
definitely on our way to a sellout at the JW Marriott LA Live next Saturday, February 12th. We have announced the winner of our Bart Star Award, which is, of course, the centerpiece of our program. And Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks is the winner. He was voted on by all the other players in the NFL, and he was far and away the top vote getter. And the award, as you might remember, is for outstanding character, integrity, and leadership on and off the field. And Russell is definitely a worthy winner.
And so, in some sense, from what I'm hearing, saying all his peers are the ones, all his colleagues, team members are the ones voting on this particular award for the Bart Star Award.
Yes, there's only two awards voted on by all the players in the NFL, the Pro Bowl and the Bart Star Award. So
Interesting.
makes it a pretty prestigious award. And it's not just for what you do on the field, it's what you do off the field. And Russell has, he just has an amazing bio of community service. He's raised over $10 million to fight cancer, and he makes multiple visits to Seattle Children's Hospital. But he also has his own foundation called the Why Not You Foundation. And that came from a phrase that his dad would always say to him when something came up. His dad would say to Russell, well, why not you?
Yeah.
And so he has a foundation that helps underprivileged youth. He also has the Why Not You Academy that
Yeah.
helps underprivileged youth. So he's an amazing guy.
Oh my gosh. Look, I mean, he had a injury season with his finger this past year, but he continues to exemplify the leadership for the Seattle Seahawks. And man, it's good to see. So, Terry, for you is when you go to Super Bowl, I mean, is there a team that you're rooting for this year here?
Yeah. Well, since I live in Cincinnati, I have been a Bengals fan for a while, even though I'm originally from New York. So I love the Giants as well. I don't want my dad to get mad. But I definitely am a Bengals fan. And boy, has it been exciting around here. I mean, it has been over 30 years since we were even in a playoff game. And now to make it to the Super Bowl, this town is going crazy.
Like, for instance, I mean, now you could look back and say, "Oh, I knew that we're gonna get to a Super Bowl," but in Cincinnati, there was no expectation to get to a Super Bowl. Your expectation was, hey, growth in Joe Burrow. You got a new couple of new young wide receivers. Joe Mixon's on the team. Chase is on the team. Let's just see how we do in the playoffs, right?
Exactly. But we weren't counting on McPherson, our kicker. You know,
Yep.
he I mean, both Joe Burrow and McPherson, they keep joking about how they have ice water in their veins because nothing phases them. And it comes down to the last second and
Yeah.
they make the play.
Very, very, very good. So, will you be staying in LA to watch the Super Bowl during that time?
Well, I would love to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, you know how hard tickets are to
Oh
get.
my
They're
gosh.
very
Yeah.
expensive, but two of my children are coming out and we will be watching it from LA.
Okay, very, very good. Hey, a quick question for you is you've been working on the Super Bowl breakfast for about 30 years. How did you get started? Were you like a huge sports fan? They put you in charge of the Super Bowl breakfast? How did that start?
Yeah, I started with Athletes in Action about 30 years ago, kind of on a part-time basis. And the Super Bowl breakfast had been around for a couple of years by then. And they asked me if I wanted to help. And I said, sure. Didn't really know what it was all about. So I learned, obviously, what it was all about. And within a couple of years, I had taken over leadership for it. So raising the sponsorships, putting my committees together in the host city. And it's just grown over the years. And you look at the list of past winners of the Bart Star Award, it's just a who's who in the NFL, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and Drew Brees. And I mean, it's just been so fun to watch what God has done through this outreach.
Yeah. Hey, look, for those who do not know what goes into a Super Bowl breakfast, there is a lot of work that goes in, months and months of planning. You talked about the host committee. You got to go in and get to know the folks and bring together a host committee. Then you got to plan logistics, coordinate with the hotel, make sure that certain dignitaries are seated, coordinate ticket sales, all of those things. For you, which part of it is the most enjoyable part, and which one is the one that's the hardest to work on every single year?
Okay, so the most enjoyable part is going to the host city and meeting people. I love to meet people. I love to figure out who wants to be, who has a passion for what we're doing. And so when I put together, I have two committees I put together. The host committee are the big names that go on the invitation. But then my executive committee is really the most important. Those are the people that will help me on the ground, behind the scenes, meet once a month, introduce me to potential sponsors, introduce me to potential host committees, sell the tables. I mean, this committee is about 20 people. They have really done an amazing job, and I love building relationships with them. So my
Well,
least favorite part then would be this year, I have to say, it's dealing with all the COVID regulations out in California. It has been, because we're at the NFL headquarters hotel, the regulations are even stricter because the NFL adds layers on it. So that's been challenging.
oh my gosh, I can't even imagine during this period of time. Yeah. Now, you talked about the host committee, you talked about the executive committee. This podcast is the listening tour with Together LA. Who are some of the pastors? Who are some of the leaders, the people in LA that you've gotten a chance to meet and says, man, these guys are just doing great work. I am so inspired and encouraged by them. Who are some of the people that you're meeting on these committees?
Yeah. So a couple of people on my committee that have just been so helpful. One is Darren McAllister, who's a senior VP at LA Mission. And so
Yep.
he's, that's on Skid Row. And so he knows a lot of big people in LA, of course, they're all fighting homelessness.
Yeah.
And John Barger with Northern Cross Partners, and JD Hornberger, who owns a business in Pasadena, and Lawson Martin, another business owner in downtown. They may not be the biggest names in LA that everybody knows, but they are influential and well connected, and that's what I need.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Man, Terry, I just wanted to spend a few minutes just talking with you about that and the Super Bowl breakfast. A couple last questions I have for you is there one Super Bowl breakfast or a person who was selected for a Bart Star that sticks out in your mind? Is there a highlight in your 30 years that you've been working on this breakfast?
Yeah. I would say when Benjamin Watson won
Yeah,
the award, and breakfast was in Minneapolis. And at first I thought, oh, Minneapolis, that's going to be terrible. It's going to be so cold. And actually, I fell in love with the city, and I fell in love with the people, and still have lifelong friends from that event in 2017. But Benjamin gave an acceptance speech that led into the gospel that was so powerful and that anybody could relate to, because he has a Super Bowl ring, but he didn't play in that game. He was injured.
yeah.
And he was talking about how he didn't deserve the ring. He didn't do anything for it, but the team gave it to him anyway. And that's how God does, he gives us grace that we don't deserve. And it was just such a great analogy. And so that's a really special memory for me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Terry, as we wrap up, your predictions for the game?
Well, I'm so torn, because I joked with my executive committee, like, what would be wonderful? It was the Bengals and the Rams, and I was really kind of joking. And then it came to be, and so they're all, they think it's really funny. So obviously, I'm rooting for the hometown team, but I love LA, and I love all the people out there. I also want to tell your listeners that in addition to the in-person event at the JW Marriott on February 12th,
Yeah.
we're also doing an online program. And that is going to be available on the Athletes in Action YouTube channel starting February 12th and beyond, featuring Eli and Peyton Manning,
Oh,
and
really? Very good.
Jackie and Matthew Slater, and Demario Davis and his wife. And all of those people have won the Bart Starr Award in the past. And then, of course, we also have Russell Wilson, being presented the award, and James Brown, the CBS
Yeah.
sportscaster, hosts the program, and he's going to give the gospel at the end. So we want everybody. And if you're not in LA and you can't come to the
Yeah.
event, watch the 30-minute online special. Tell your friends about it, because it is a funny and a heartwarming show.
Hey, as soon as you said that Peyton Manning and Eli Manning are part of it, you know it's gonna be funny because they've done an outstanding job on their Manningcast for ESPN, and
Yep,
here they are coming back together to do this 30-minute, and it's gonna be on the Athletes in Action YouTube channel,
that's
correct?
right.
Good, 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 good. Hey, where else can I get the URL for the Super Bowl breakfast one more time from you?
So that is superbowlbreakfast.com. And we're actually hoping to have the online special on there as well. But superbowlbreakfast.com has all the information about the program, about the Bart Starr Award. We have a page that's called Learn More, which has lots of information for spiritual follow-up and information about our sponsors. But then there's also a tab where you can click and buy tables and tickets.
So superbowlbreakfast.com and the Athletes in Action YouTube channel for a special online presentation, a 30-minute presentation with James Brown. You have Russell Wilson, the Manning brothers, all of that. So wow, looking forward to it. Last question for you. If you're predicting Cincinnati will win, who is your MVP? Is it Jamar Chase? Is it Joe Mixon? Is it T. Higgins or Joe Burrow?
That's so hard, but I'm going to go with Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a meme of him injecting ice water into his veins. And
Mhm.
that's he stays so cool.
Yeah, you see a young quarterback like this. Look, I mean, you haven't seen anything like that in Cincinnati since maybe the days of Carson Palmer, but he got injured pretty early. And before that, Boomer Esiason. But other than that, you haven't seen a quarterback like this, young quarterback who will lead the franchise for a decade plus here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, we're pretty excited, I'll say.
Terry, thank you so much. Safe travels. I know a lot of times there's a lot of snow all over the country, so safe travels over to LA here, Terry.
Thank you so much.